Hello everyone, welcome to a new video. In today's episode, you requested me to do this video, which is Lualine. So basically, what we are going to discuss today is what is Lualine, why using Lualine, how can we configure, and so on and so forth. You have been asking me for how do I set up my status line and my tabs line and all of that. So yeah, today I'm gonna be discussing about it. So yeah, why Lualine? So it's easy to set up. It's flexible. It's really easy to set up. It has flexibility and the same structure of setup that you use in one line you can use to multiple lines or bars, or how do you want to call it. So the same way you set up status line, you can use the same setup to set up the tab line and all of that. Not that you will use the same components, but what I mean to use the same structure is how you configure and how you set up everything, but we will see that a little bit later on. And yeah, so what are the available lines? So we have status line, which is kind of, when you have a line here that says normal, insert, and all of that. This one on the bottom, it's called status line. The tab line, it's on the top. It's to see the tabs that you have open. You can also see the buffers that you have open and so on and so forth. It's a line on the top, and then after the first line on the top, you have the windbar. So you can use for kind of different things. To be honest, I don't use the windbar with Lualine. It's the only thing that I use some other plugin, but that's because it does some stuff out of the box. So it just gets the LSP saga symbols, and yeah, it does. If you are used to VS Code in the past, you will see like kind of the function name, then the parent name, and it will change like in whichever the position of the cursor. So one that I use, I can also show you. One that I use was Neovim Navik. I think that's how is it called. Yeah, here it is. I think that here it will also show it in there, hopefully. So yeah, it's this thing on the top. As you can see, it's changing regarding the position. So you have this one, and you also have the LSP saga. It does also some other stuff, but I use it mostly only for the Navic. Oh, it doesn't show, but I think that if I go to their website, yeah, here, and then LSP saga, and then they should have somewhere this one maybe. Where does breadcrumbs? Yeah, so yeah, LSP saga also has it. um I use mostly LSP saga because it gives me, and I mostly only use LSP saga for this because it gives us some highlighting out of the box, and I like their highlighting and how they place the icons and all of that stuff. But just I'm also thinking of going back to Navik because yeah, for LSP saga I only use for this feature, basically nothing more. And Navik, it's lightweight and it serves that purpose. But yeah, it's the only thing that I don't use on Lualine. It's the windbar. But yeah, you also have available to it. You can also do it with Lualine, and then you have inactives, and we are going to see later what is inactives. It's kind of hard to understand because you don't have any reference on the documentation what it is, but in the end the theory is really easy. We are going to see later. So the concepts. So this is basically the line that you have, and it's separated. It's in kind of three sections, 6 sections, sorry, and it's separated in 2 groups. So you have the left group and you have the right group, and in each section you can add whatever component you want. So we have sections, we have components, and we have separators. Important also to mention the extensions and themes. This is not kind of, it's mostly optional, but yeah, you can also use it. So the sections, which each one of it represents a section. So you have the section A, the section B, the section C, the section X, the section Y, and the section Z. The ABC represents the left side of the section, and the XYZ represents the right side of the section. And in each section you can add one or multiple components. So in this case I only have an example with one component, but you can add multiple. So you could have like file name and path in the same section. What this does is that you have kind of different separators. So you can have separators, I think that we are going to see in the slide after, but you can have separators for sections and separators for components. So yeah, we are going to see in my config as well what do I mean between sections. But yeah, sections divided into six sections, which in turn is divided by 2 groups of sections, the left and the right group of sections. So this is what I told. So we have the ABC for the left group, and we have the XYZ for the right group. So yeah, each section we have one or more components inside. As I told, I think that yeah, the next is components. What you can display on each section, could it be the LSP attached, diagnostics of your LSP, file name, file type, Vim mode. There are so many components. You can also add your own custom component, or even use community components with extensions. So as I said in here, important also to mention the extensions. Yeah, here we have YZ, because you can, like for example, telescope, and there's really a bunch of plugins out there that they already give you extensions out of the box where you can use in Lualine, and then you can display something something cool. For example, in Lazy, I don't recall if I have shown you that example in the video of Lazy that I made or not, but you can, for example, display what are the plugins that are outdated and all of that, and it's like with some kind of extensions. So yeah, Lazy provides you extensions where you can put in your status line, and then you get all of the information that you want basically. So this is why it's easy to set up. So you have a section. Inside of the section you can have components, one or multiple components in each section, and then you have separators, which I think that it's the next slide. Yeah, exactly. Separators is what is used to separate the components. In this particular example you have 2 types of separators. You have section separators for the sections, and you also have component separators separated for the components. So you also have a third, which I didn't want to display in this slide, but it's if you want to override a separator, for example, if you want to override a component separator, inside of each component configuration, you can also have a separator in there, and then whichever separator you put in there will just replace or override the separator that you have in your component or section. So this is kind of hierarchy. First it will see if it has component level separator. If it doesn't have, we'll try to find the component separators table and see if there is a separator in there, and if it doesn't have, it will try to find a section separators in the section separators table basically. If it doesn't apply, it will be all squared, it doesn't apply in the separator. And we also have inactive. As I told, we also have the ability to specify what we want to show whenever we have, for example, multiple paints and we want to have different information on the paints that are inactive. We can specify this different information on sections and on windbar. Since tab line is shared across all of the panes, there are no inactive information present because the line will always be the same. So basically, this is like if you have like kind of two panes, two vertical planes, one on the left and one on the right, and you have your cursor on the right pane, the left pane will be inactive. You also have some plugins, for example, to dim and make it a little bit darker so that you can clearly see which pane is active and which pane is not, but it's out of the scope for this video. But you can also tell which one is inactive by changing, like, for example, how you will present the status line, for example. So um, I've used it in the past, but then like if you have a smaller screen, so for example in your laptop, um, if you have your cursor on the right one, for example, it will not have a lot of space to show information on the status line, so the information will be kind of cut and all of that stuff. So I didn't like it. So you have another thing which is we can also specify that we want the sections to be shared across all planes with a new Neovim feature, which is vim.opt.last status equal to 3. So this will like share the same one, and instead of having two separate status line for each plane, you'll have only one that will be shared across both. I prefer this one because you will have way more space, but we are going to see what I mean with that whenever we go to my config. But yeah, I prefer to have this option enabled. And then optional, you can use nerd fonts to have icons on your status line. So this is really optional. And for example, extensions and themes. Themes I haven't talked about, but themes is like you can say which theme you want to use in the status line or in all of your bars. So for example, you can use the color scheme Dracula in your Vim, but then you can specify like, but for the lines, the tabs that I have, I want to use the groove box. I have that set up to auto, as we will see next, and auto will just grab whichever one I'm using the color scheme. That's what is going to use, so it will always be the same. And yeah, nerd phones, if you use some other stuff like LSP and LSP kind, for example, for the CMP and all of that, it might be the case that you already have Neo3, for example. I made kind of a video about file explorers and all of that, which was the most recent one, I think. And in there we saw Neo3, which has the icons of the folders and all of that. So yeah, you can. It's there are big chances that you are already using a patched icon. If not, here it is the repository. You just only need to install this patch, and then yeah, that's it, and then you are be able to use it. Here is an example. It's really small. I can try to increase. Yeah, so it's some icons that it has by itself, so that you can use. And this is attached to the fonts. And yeah, it's kind of it. And then you can use like in Mac, which is the operating system that I'm using. You have the font book. So this kind of thing. In Windows, you have also it's not called font book. I don't recall the name right now, but you also can see your fonts, and in the Linux as well. So then I'm in the Black's Mono Nerd font, which was one patched font that I installed. It's the one that I use the most. It's the one that I most like. It's just unfortunate that they don't have ligatures. I think that I can show you what is ligatures. I think that this one has ligatures. Hopefully it has. I'm not 100% sure if it has. Okay. So ligators is like, I don't know if you've seen, like when you have three equals, it just does three lines, but it's out of the scope for this video. But yeah, in here you see in this one you have all of these options. So this is what we will use as separators most of the times. I've used this in the past, these round ones. Now I'm using these ones. But this is what you are going to use as separators most of the times. You also have these ones if you want to be like really crazy with it. But yeah, you have kind of different separators. Then you can just copy it and paste it on the config. We will see where in a minute. But yeah, I just only wanted to provide you with the way to check or to copy the separators that you have. And yeah, so now we are going to go to my config and see. There are some stuff that you might already know. So I'm using LazyGit. If you haven't seen the video about lazy, I have already a video about lazy. Just have a look on that. So yeah, I'm using the Lualine. I'm using the Neovim web dev icons. This is to use the nerd fonts. So you also need to install this one. You also have Neovim web dev icons. So this is like to use kind of use the nerd fonts that we saw a minute before. So this is on the Lualine repository. So if you come to the Lualine repository, you'll see here somewhere installation. Yeah, so it's just if you want to use it, that icons. I love to have the icons. It gives me some big feedback, and sometimes instead of, like, for example, seeing the file name, I just see, like, if I'm, for example, the package.json, I know that is a JSON. Instead of like reading all of the file name, I just look to the icon and that's it. So yeah, let's see what options do I have. So I have the theme auto, as I told you. And then we have, inside of the options, we have the component separator and we have the section separator. So this is what will tell, like, what will be the separators. And from here we can see two different. So we can see that we have different components here separated by this light one. And then we have one that it's filled, and this is a section. So we can see the difference between sections and components right here, but we will see in a minute. Always divide middle if you want to divide middle, and global status to false. This was some settings that I've saw it that was important for me, but yeah, it's optional to have that too. So then we have the sections. So these sections will be everything for this line. So if you see this line, it's just only for this line. It's everything that you put on these sections is for this one. So then we have the section A as we saw it, and then we have a table with a component. This is the mode, so it's this thing. As you can see, it also has the icon. I've just put the icon. You can get rid of it if you want. So yeah, this is related to this component. As you can see, you can also have separator, as I have here, that will override the other one. So if I would put this separator again back on, I can show you. I can show you quite quickly. Okay, I'm gonna put this back on. And now I also want to show you something that I haven't show you when I made the lazy video. You can also load some plugins that haven't been loaded yet if you want, or you can also reload. And what this is going to do is that it will reload this config function and will set up everything again as it was on the startup. So if I do this, you'll see now I have like kind of this collapsing because I have a separator that's overriding the other one, so it's kind of buggy. Might be a non-issue, but in the correct case, this will be overriding this one, the sections one. But yeah, in this case, it's not overriding. Might be a bug or something like that. But yeah, you can also tell which separator you want to the left and which separator you want to the right. So yeah, let's go back to the previous state and let's do again the lazy reload Lualine to be back in normal. So it's kind of buggy now. Let's just restart then. Okay. So yeah, so we were in here. So on the second one we have file name. Yeah, I've just overridden some text that will appear. So for example, if I do tab new, for example, here it appears empty buffer, but without this, it will appear like no data. I think something like that. It will be not like telling you what it is, and now it tells you. So yeah, you can put here the text that you want. All of this, it's on the documentation, by the way. If you want to see some other ones, you just only need to go there. So then we have the branch. This is just components that Lualine provides you. And now we have diagnostics, and this is an extension. So as you can see, I have saying the diagnostics, which is the name of the extension, and then I say where is it coming from. In this case, I'm saying that it's coming from Neovim diagnostics, which in turn uses NVLSP and tells me if I have some mistakes. So if I do, like, for example, this, yeah, as you can see there, I have an error in my code, and it tells me there what is the error. As you can see as well, we have file name, the branch, and the diagnostic. Since we don't have any branch, it doesn't show. But also we see a different separator, and here you can see the distinguishing between components. So this is one component and this is another component, and both of them will be a section. If they had the branch here in the middle, you will have 3 components in the same section. Keep in mind that the order here matters. So if I do, for example, if I do this and I'll put it in here, I'm gonna save it. I'm gonna lazy reload Lualine, hopefully will not bug it. Okay, and now I'm gonna do this. And you see, yeah, it's kind of buggy. It's not working very well, but I can do something like this, basically. And then reload again. So yeah, now with the fresh opening, so now I'm gonna delete again. So what I had to do, I had to reload and then fix this mistake and then reload again, because yeah, all of this was crashing. But now I'm gonna delete this, and you see, like, now the hard I've changed. So now we have diagnostics as first and then the file name as second. So it will respect this order, basically. So I'm gonna put whatever it was again. Okay, so now we have file name first, then if we have a branch, we'll display the branch, and then it will display the diagnostics. And then for the left side, it's done. I don't have nothing more on the left side, and now I have on the right side. So what I have is that I have the, as I told you, is this icon. So it shows all of the packets that I have updated. If I come to lazy, I see that I have 8 updates, and it's the same that it says in there. So this is an extension, by the way. This is one thing for the extension. Then we have the LSP client. So this will say it's this one. We will say what is the LSP that is attached. If I come to the LSP info, it will say I only have one Lua alias that is attached. So it will only show one, which will be the one that will be on the top. So it will be basically the first one that we will attach. But it will be responding. What this means is that, for example, now I have init.lua. If I add like init.json and I went there, it will automatically change here to the LSP that is attached to that buffer, basically. But yeah, and then we have more components. So we have file type, which is it's saying Lua, and it's also have like the icon. Again, it's coming from the nerd tree. Then we have the progress. The progress is like from top to bottom, where your cursor is positioned. So it says that it's positioned on 55% of the page. So it's nearly in the middle, the cursor. And then you have the search count. In this case, I don't have any search count, but if I do, for example, search count, yeah, it appears on there. So as you can see, it's the one, so it only has one accuracy, but yeah, that's just demonstrating that. And again, all of this is just section, and it has 1, 2, 3, 4 components. And if you come here, so we have this table, which is one component, 2, 3, 4. And then we have location. Location tells you like where the cursor is horizontally and vertically. So in this case, it's on row 88 and column 84. If I go to the bottom, it says row 89 and column 29. So it's saying the position of the cursor on the horizontal and on vertically. So it's kind of this one, the Lualine Z. And yeah, for the status line, that's it. That's everything that we have. And now we have the inactive section. So again, as I told previously, I don't use that much. So that's why I have really simple, because if I do a new pane, as you can see, the status line, it's always the same. So it's sharing the same. But I'm gonna show you how would it be if I didn't have this option enabled. This will bug a little bit. So yeah, you see, so if I come to the bottom, we have inactive section. So we have file name on the first section, and we have location on the last section, and that's what I have here. So I have file name and location in the last section, and then the active one. I have everything, and this is why I use that option. As you can see, like it just cut all of the information that was in there, and yeah, I don't use it personally. So now if I change to the other pane, it will come to this one. I don't use it too much personally because of this. The space on it, it's not that much to see everything. So I prefer to have the shared one. But yeah, if you want to change the inactive sections, what you want to have in there, you have the ability to do it in here. And then we have tab line. So tab line, it's this on the top. So everything that is in here, like these are the buffers, and these are the tabs. So I say that on the left I want to have buffers, win mode, and file type names, like everything that I want to have in there. And then on the last one I want to have my tabs. And then there are the extensions. So we can have different extensions for the different plugins that you have. It's just, yeah, whatever you install it. So I have Trouble installed, I have Fugitive, I have Quick Fix, Toggle Turn. So yeah, you can just display information in there. And most of the times, for example, when I go to this one is not a good example. Is it this one? No, it's also not a good example. But I think that I can do it in this way. Let me just close this one, and then let me just do Neo 3 Explorer file system. Oh, it's just say on the. I wanted to show you git status. Yeah, So yeah, now it just shows what is the current directory where you are. But if you didn't have Neodrin here, it will show something that it's not great to see. It's not really useful. And yeah, then I have this option as we see it. This is to share the same status line to through all of the paints. And yeah, so this was it for the video today. As always, if you find it useful, like and subscribe. If you have any doubt, just comment and I will do my best to help you on that. And if you have some suggestions for a video or all of that, this Lualine was a suggestion from one subscriber on the channel that just asked me how I have my tabs line and which plugin and all of that. So I decided to do this video. So yeah, if you like it, like and subscribe, hit the bell so that you can know whenever I do a new video. And yeah, I'll see you on the next video. Bye bye.